Hello, I'm John Bachman. The president and congressional Republicans are gearing up for a fight over taxes. During his State of the Union address tomorrow night, the president will propose tax hikes on inheritances, big business, and on capital gains. He also will propose a tax cut for the middle class. Republicans in Congress are already lining up against these ideas. The Speaker of the House, John Boehner, calls them the same old top-down approach we've come to expect from this president. The president's populist pitch on taxes comes as a new report lands about wealth and poverty. The world's wealth continues to grow more concentrated in the hands of even fewer people. A new report says by next year, more than half of the world's wealth will be owned by 1% of the global population. That's from the anti-poverty group Oxfam, which also says the richest 80 people on the planet have the same as the poorest 3.5 billion people. Mitt Romney talked about income inequality recently at an RNC meeting.
Under President Obama, the rich have gotten richer, income inequality has gotten worse, and there are more people in poverty in America than ever before. Under this president, his policies have not worked.
Now, at that same RNC winter meeting, Romney also joked about the idea of running for president for a third time, but he does say he is seriously considering it. And Patriots fans have barely got a chance to celebrate making it to the Super Bowl, and now there is already a new controversy. Several reports say the Pats are under a new cheating investigation for allegedly using underinflated footballs during their win over the Colts in the AFC Championship game. The Patriots could lose draft picks if this turns out to be true. They'll face the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And protests continue around the world against the magazine Charlie Hebdo. In Russia's largely Muslim region of Chechnya, hundreds of thousands gathered, angry at the magazine for continuing to print cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. Protesters have also been in the streets of Pakistan and by the thousands in Afghanistan. Well, it turns out federal officials had a pretty good reason to be confident that it was North Korea who hacked Sony Pictures over the movie The Interview. The New York Times says that's because the NSA had hacked North Korea's networks back in 2010 and had a backdoor in to gather intelligence, but obviously didn't stop the hack from the North Koreans. In the Golan Heights area on edge today, after an Israeli airstrike, Iran has now confirmed that the Iranian general, or I should say an Iranian general, was among those killed when an Israeli helicopter reportedly launched the attack on a convoy. 6 members of the terror group Hezbollah were also killed. And the Secret Service is looking into who may have taken some shots at the vice president's house in Delaware over the weekend. The vice president was not there, nor was his family, when those shots rang out near his house. Investigators still aren't sure if they were fired from a passing car at random or if they were actually fired in the direction of the VP's house on purpose. And Biden also speaking earlier today, as you saw there, at a Martin Luther King Day event. And the stars of the movie Selma have honored Dr. Martin Luther King by visiting the city of Selma. They marched through the Alabama town yesterday, marking 50 years since the campaign that helped lead to the Voting Rights Act. We'll have another Newsmax Now update coming up for you in 30 minutes. Now back to Midpoint.
Humanity that was denied.